Today's episode of Wine and Dime is sponsored by Rooted Planning Group, a fee-only financial planning firm that believes life is about events, supported by your dollars and cents. And we want to help you achieve your goals. Hop on over to www.rootedpg.com to learn more about the services. Every week, it's my goal to share financial information that helps you in both your life and Financial Vineyard. We hope it takes you from your roots to the journey of your vines and the influences in the air that have helped craft your delicious life. Like wine, life and finances have different palates that should be celebrated and not judged.
Hello, podcast listeners. Thank you once again for joining the show. We are thrilled to have you back and participating and listening and sharing your time with us on this particular topic today, which is about a document called The 5 Wishes. So we're continuing our series. This is the final, well, actually, there's one more episode. Next week, we're going to be talking about special needs trusts, but we are continuing our series on the 5 Wishes. This is episode 6. So we're continuing our series on estate planning. This is episode 6. Where we're talking about 5 wishes. But before we dig into that, talk about something a little lighter. I think the last 2 episodes, this will be number 3. We featured a winery on Seneca Lake called Billsboro. Again, if you ever want to explore the Finger Lakes area, feel free to reach out to me. If you're not from here, I will give you a guide to my favorite wineries. And Billsboro is one of my new favorite wineries. It was about an hour and a half, I guess, from our home. We went up there for a tasting, beautiful old barn, and we were lucky enough to get a taste of their Syrah. Now, New York is not necessarily known for their Syrahs, so if you're tasting this wine, don't expect it to be a California Syrah or an Australian Syrah. Nonetheless, it was a good light Syrah, in my opinion, and from this area, something that I would recommend for somebody that is looking for a darker flavor, richer flavor, a little bit richer flavor. Anyway, so their 2022 Syrah is going to be coming out soon. Super excited about that, and made us join their club because we were excited. They didn't make us. We decided to join because we were excited to be, getting notifications and having access to those wines before they're actually out. So if you are in the New York State area or in the Finger Lakes area, hop up to Billsboro, try them out. The beautiful old barn there. I think you'll really enjoy the setting. And moving on to the episode about talking about the 5 wishes. Before we get into this episode, as I've said in the other 5 episodes, I am not an attorney. I'm not trying to give you legal advice. This episode is recorded simply because we want to provide you with educational language and want you to be aware of what some of the terminology is. In the previous episodes, the episode 1, we talked about estate planning as far as like some terms and terminology. This episode 2, we dug into beneficiaries, wills, and probate. Episode 3, we talked about trusts. Episode 4, we talked about healthcare proxies. And episode 5, we took a deeper look at power of attorney. This particular episode is about the 5 wishes. Now, there is an organization called 5wishes.org. You can go get this document, and I would highly, highly recommend that you do this. This is a very thorough document. In fact, if you send us a note that you want this document, I had some printed. I will send you one. So you just have to send us an email at info@rootedpg.com. We'll be happy to send you a copy out, or you can go out to their website, 5wishes.org. Now, what is 5 Wishes? So 5 Wishes is, and this is right from their website. So 5 Wishes is the first living will that talks about your personal, emotional, and spiritual needs, as well as your medical wishes. It lets you choose the person you want to be your healthcare, make your healthcare decisions for you if you are not able to make them yourselves, similar to a healthcare proxy. It also lets you say exactly what you wish to be treated if you're seriously ill. It was written with the help of the nation's leading expert in end-of-life care, and it's very easy to use. All you have to do is check some boxes, circle a direction, or write a few sentences, depending on how you fill this out. How can the 5 wishes help you and your family? It lets you talk with your family, friends, and doctor about how you want to be treated if you become seriously ill. Your family members will not have to guess what you want. That's important. It protects them if you become seriously ill because they won't have to make hard choices without knowing your wishes. You can know what your mom, dad, spouse, or family wants. You can be there for them when they need you most, and you will understand what it is that they really want. Interestingly enough, how 5 wishes began, there was a gentleman by the name of Jim Toby, I think I'm saying that, who worked closely with Mother Teresa, and for 1 year he lived in a hospice she ran in Washington, D.C. Inspired by this firsthand experience, he saw a way for patients and their families to plan and cope with serious illness. The result was the 5 wishes, and the response to this has just been overwhelming. It's been featured on CNN and NBC's Today Show and in the pages of Time and Miami magazines. Newspapers have called 5 wishes the first living will with a heart and soul. Today, 5 wishes is available in 29 languages. Amazing. Now, 5 wishes in your state, it was created with the help of the American Bar Association Commission on Law and Aging. So if you live in the District of Columbia or most states, you can use 5 wishes and have a peace of mind to know that it substantially meets the state's requirements under law. If you live in Kansas, New Hampshire, Ohio, or Texas, you can still use 5 wishes, but you may need to have an extra step in there. You can actually go find more at 5wishes.org/states. And again, as always, we suggest that you talk with your attorney. If you want to change the document, if you already have a living will or durable power of healthcare attorney, so a durable power of attorney for healthcare, if you want to use the 5 wishes instead, all you need to do is fill out and sign a new 5 wishes as directed. As soon as you sign it, it takes away any advance directives you had before. To make sure that you've used, to make sure the right form is used, please do the following. Now, this is according to, again, 5 Wishes website. Store all copies of your living will or durable power of attorney for healthcare, or you can write vote in large letters across the copy you have. Tell your lawyer or attorney if he or she has helped prepare the old forms, and tell your healthcare proxy family members and doctors that you have filled out a new 5 wishes. Make sure that they know about your wishes. And if you get a chance, like I said, basically the 5 wishes were, number 1, the person I want to make healthcare decisions for me when I can't make them for myself. You can name your agent. The form itself talks about things that you might want done or might not want done. The second wish, this is, it's called My Wish for the kind of medical treatment I want or don't want. So digging into this one, what you should keep in mind as the way that the document is written is if somebody is reading it. And so it's saying, well, what should you keep in mind if you are my caregiver? And a couple of the options are, I don't want to be in pain. I want to be comfortable. Maybe there is a couple of wishes that you want to specifically define how you define comfortable. Maybe you want to be offered fluids by mouth, if that's safe for you to eat or drink. You want to be kept clean. Obviously, that's important. And you don't want anything done or admitted by nurses or doctors with the intention of taking your life. So that could be one of the things. And you can then go on and say, well, what life-supporting treatment means to you. And again, you can be very specific about that. And there's even in case of emergency section if you want that. There's specific areas that it covers, like if you're close to death, if you're in a coma, not expected to wake or recover, if you have permanent severe brain damage and not expected to recover, or in other conditions under which you do not wish to be kept alive. That section can be filled in. Wish 3 digs into your wish of how comfortable you want to be. Wish 4 is how you want people to treat you. And a couple of examples you can actually pick from is, and these are just a few, you could say you wish to have pictures of your loved ones in your room. You wish to be cared for with kindness and cheerfulness and not sadness. You want to die in your home if that can be done. You wish to be called by a particular name or nickname. Those are some of the things that you might want to have included in there. And then the fifth wish is what you want loved ones to know about you. And they give you some areas that are automatically filled in. Like, for example, one of the items is, I wish to have my family and friends know that I love them. I wish to be forgiven for all the times I have hurt my family, friends, and others. I wish to have my family, friends, and others know that I forgive them for the things that they have done. These are things that, and it goes on, there's several other options, but it also gets into things like, after my death, I would like my body to be either buried or cremated or maybe donated. If you want them to be donated, there's particular, like, is there a particular place that you want them donated? Or is there a particular place that you want to be buried or cremated? There are particular funeral wishes. You could actually list the name of the person that knows those wishes. So we often talk about pre-planning, not necessarily pre-paying, but pre-planning. So you may have worked with a particular funeral home or a person that knows your final wishes. And then if you want to, you can say, if anyone asks how I want to be remembered, you can actually write a couple sentences about how you want to be remembered. If there's to be a memorial service, you wish to have the service to include the following. It could be a list of music, songs, readings. Maybe, like me, you want a big party. And just fun memories and everybody laughing and, having a good time. I also, I'm do not want a lot of money spent on something like that. I prefer that it go to charity. And I'm not saying that that's what you might want, but those are some examples that you might have. And then you would actually sign the document. That's something that you would sign it. And then you do need to have some witnesses and and the notaries need to actually potentially sign that the witnesses saw your signature. So those are a couple of things that you might need to be aware of. So just know your state and know what is required to know whose signatures need to be notarized. And then make sure that after you sign this document and the witnesses have signed the document, that your 5 wishes are distributed to the people that need to have access to that information. Maybe you keep the original copy in a special place at home. We do not recommend that you put them in a safe deposit box because somebody might not know it's there for weeks after you pass or when you need the care. You could fill out a wallet card. The actual form itself has a little wallet card that says, hey, there's this document, the 5 wishes, and here's where it's kept. It also gives a list of who your primary care physician is so that they know who that might be. You could also give a copy to your doctor. As I mentioned earlier, you would want to give a copy to your attorney. And if you're ever admitted to a hospital or nursing home, if possible, provide them with a copy. And if not, then have your designee provide them with a copy. And then also on the form, it says who all has copies of the 5 wishes. And the form doesn't say that, but one thing that I have suggested is maybe you put a date that you provided them with a copy. So something that we just think is so important, and the 5 wishes stands for is, to age with dignity. And that's super important. And I think, on the actual form itself, it says the lifetime work of Mother Teresa inspired the founding of Aging with Dignity in 1996 and the creation of 5 wishes a year later. Shortly before her death, she wrote to founder Jim, I think it's pronounced Towie, urging respect for the dignity of life, the most beautiful gift of God. Today, more than 40 million copies of 5 wishes are nationally circulated and available. This document actually says 30 languages. So again, I think it's super important for you to take the time. I know this is not fun, but you will know and possibly rest with peace that your final wishes and your family will know what those final wishes are. Also, from somebody who has observed numerous losses to clients over the years and loss of clients themselves. When your family knows what you want, it does help avoid any conflict or any already stressful time in their life. So we hope that you've enjoyed as much as you can this particular podcast. Thank you so much for listening today. And again, if you want a copy of this, you can either go to 5wishes.org or send us a note and we'll be happy to mail one to you. We would love it if you would share this with your friends and rate us on iTunes so that more people like you can find us. And a special shout out to our production crew, if you want to call it that, TJ Mian at Mian Media. We sure appreciate all the faux pas fixes and blending that he does during those production stages. Thank you, everyone.
And that will about do it for today's episode of Wine and Dime. You can contact Amy through the website, www.rootedpg.com, or amy@rootedpg.com. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram @rootedpg for the latest news. And if you have any questions, comments, or topics you would like to hear about, feel free to let us know. And don't forget to rate and subscribe the show wherever you get your podcasts. And again, thank you for listening, and be sure to tune in next time.